Welcome to today's course on max particles and how to manage them in Pokemon Go. If you've ever wondered how to level up your Dynamax gameplay through effective use of max particles, stay tuned. And if educational Dynamax content is your thing, consider dropping a like and subscribe below. Let's begin with the basics, with what even are max particles? Max particles, or MP, are a specialized form of currency used within the Dynamax and Gigantamax subgenre of Pokemon Go. This resource is useful in two ways. First, max particles are used instead of raid passes to enter power spots to challenge Dynamax bosses. Unlike raids, however, this is a resource that is only consumed once the battle is successfully completed, meaning that in-person failed attempts do not consume particles. Failed remote raid attempts will consume a remote raid pass, but no max particles. Second, max particles are used in conjunction with Pokemon Candy to power up Dynamax moves. Dynamax moves and their effects are covered in my prior videos, and I'll put a link to those on screen. With the exception of Zacian and Zamazenta, all Dynamax eligible Pokemon require a combination of Candy and max particles to unlock and power up their moves. All Dynamax Pokemon begin with level 1 unlocked on an attacking move, and so will require additional particles and candy to unlock Max Guard and Max Spirit, should that be your desired route. As you can see, leveling up moves costs incrementally more candy and max particles each, culminating in Candy XL requirements and a high number of max particles to fully max out a move. So naturally, the question arises, how does one obtain max particles if they're such an integral part to Dynamax battles? There are a few ways to collect particles, the first being the free methods. You can collect max particles for free from power spots located on the map. Each power spot possesses particles that can be collected once a day, and are typically limited to 120 particles outside of special events. Particles can also be collected from walking. In the menu adjacent to routes, you can claim a walking bonus of 300 particles every 2 kilometers walked, and again, in special events, this distance and quantity may vary. There is a catch with these two methods, however. Players cannot claim any more particles through these methods after claiming at least 800 MP through these methods per day. Players also cannot claim any more particles through these methods if they possess more than 1,500 MP in their inventory. As players hit these limitations on free play, we must discuss the second way to obtain max particles, via in-game purchases of course. Max particle packs are purchasable items that, when redeemed, confer 800 MP per pack. These packs interact interestingly with the aforementioned restrictions. Claiming a pack does not count toward your daily particle collection limit, thankfully, but also cannot be claimed if the player already possesses at least 1,500 MP in their inventory. Additionally, players are limited from purchasing more particle packs if they already possess at least 12 packs in their inventory. Last but not least, we'll talk about loose particles. These often come in the form of quest rewards and are denoted by floating particle symbols instead of a particle pack. Some common ways to get loose particles include from the monthly Go Pass, check-in rewards to community ambassador meetups, and the free lead-up research that usually predates a bigger Dynamax event. Unlike the previous methods mentioned, loose particles are the most premium form of particles as they are not restricted in any way. You can collect loose particles from a quest reward at any time. That's right, no matter what your daily limit says, no matter your inventory storage, none of it can stop you from collecting more particles through this method. For this reason, it's often a good idea to keep quest rewards that contain these particles unredeemed, so you can claim them when the time is right. We can see a few examples here where we can see the daily limit in action. You'll notice that in my explanations I mentioned the phrase at least a few times. This is because you can technically overshoot both the daily limit and your particle storage. With a well-timed walking bonus or loose particles, players can find themselves inundated with more max particles than these limits might imply. And it is these loopholes that we'll dig into a bit deeper to best inform our particle collection strategies. But first, let's talk next about particle pack optimization. As mentioned earlier, players are prohibited from purchasing packs, or even boxes containing packs, if they currently hold at least 12 particle packs in their inventory. Can we do better than this using those same strategies that we observed with particle collection? Indeed. Let's take a look at this in action. On screen, you can see that my inventory holds 11 particle packs, 1 particle pack shy of the 12-pack limit. I'm then switching to the web store to purchase a bulk order of particle packs. You don't have to buy the 6-pack from the web store, and instead could do this same exercise with the 3-pack located directly inside the in-game shop. But the higher quantity you purchase at this stage, the more you can bank in your inventory for later. After purchasing, you can see that my inventory has now shot up to 17 particle packs, vastly more than the 12-pack limit might lead you to assume. The major benefit of this exercise is to save yourself a bit of time when entering Dynamax battles. The UI can be a bit clunky, especially when remote raiding, placing several animations and menus in front of you if you don't have sufficient packs or remote passes on hand already. Now let's talk about the philosophy of maximizing our max particle collection. As we've discussed, there are 3 methods to collecting MP. On screen, I've put together a table highlighting some key scenarios for each of the collection methods. As expected, we see that loose particles give us the most flexibility, while collecting from power spots or from the walking bonus presents the most restrictions. From this, we can divine a few strategies for making the most of our free particles, since this is the only area we can truly optimize. In other words, when you buy packs, you bypass the daily limit, so it doesn't really matter what you do in that case. We'll dive in a bit deeper to these 2 tricks to better understand what I mean. We'll use Gigantamax Snorlax's upcoming battle day as an example. For this event, the adjusted MP collection numbers are listed on screen. What's noteworthy is that 1600 MP is our target number for how much MP we can reasonably collect from the free methods per day. But as we keep asking ourselves, can we do better than this? Here are some examples of how Gigantamax Snorlax Day could play out for you. Scenario 1. Collect only from power spots. This is admittedly the simplest, and perhaps worst, scenario for you, the player. After collecting MP from 2 power spots, you've hit the 1600 MP limit and cannot take advantage of any walking bonuses or any additional power spots. We know we can do better. Scenario 2. Collect only the walking bonus. Mathematically astute viewers will note that 1600 is a multiple of 800, and so if we want to overshoot that number, we have to try and use numbers that won't divide as easily into our target. In this case, focusing on the walking bonus helps us realize that 3 walking bonuses lets us overshoot the 1600 MP limit by about 200 MP. That's not too shabby if you're committed to walking a bunch before doing any battles. Scenario 3. Alternating or a hybrid approach. What we're starting to notice is that at a certain point, we're getting pretty close to the 1600 MP collection limit, and after that, the final action we take locks us into how much we can overshoot the limit by. When looking at Scenario 2, which had a start from 1200 MP and overshoot using a 600 MP increment, we could easily substitute this last step for 800 MP as well to boost our total by 200. Better yet, though, would be 2 consecutive power spot increments, taking us from 600 to 1400 to 2200 MP. This is the best we can do most of the time. I'll mention a fourth scenario that requires a bit of pre-planning the day before. It's become clear to us now that what we're really trying to solve for is a knapsack problem. Or in other words, how can we fill a knapsack as much as possible without having it spill over? This is where a greedy algorithm comes into play. Our goal is to try and get as close to the 1600 MP limit without going over, and then finish off with the highest increment we possibly can. Who knew we'd learn so much from The Price is Right? So in this case, if we start with a 300 MP walking bonus from the prior day that lacked the adjusted walking bonus, this lets us stack 2 more walking bonuses during the Gigantamax Snorlax day, bringing us to 1500 MP collected for the day. Then, after claiming particles from a power spot, this brings our total up to 2320 MP, all before spending a single penny on max particles. In that last example, we saw that in order to maximize our particles, we needed to follow a delicate script, collecting walking bonuses sometimes multiple times before collecting from a power spot. Practically speaking, this can be challenging for players to accomplish. What if you're starting out the day with a mostly full inventory of particles and must spend max particles in order to progress our script? Players will likely want to do Dynamax battles after all. Walking around collecting particles is only half the fun. Take this particular example as a cautionary tale. Remember, we have to collect 3 walking bonuses before any power spot can be collected. Say we did the first few steps right but find ourselves with maximum storage. In order to dip below maximum capacity and collect more walking bonuses, the player must use particles, and they thus decide to enter a Gigantamax Snorlax battle. Upon success, their storage will no longer be full, so that's good. But now, the player is in a precarious situation. If they accidentally click on any power spot, even the one they just completed, they'll claim that 800 MP and max out their daily collection for the day. Is there anything we can do here? This is where particle packs and loose particles can be a real asset. Remember, you can only collect from a power spot if you're not maxed out on your inventory space as well. And particle packs and loose particles do not contribute toward your daily collection limit for the day. So, we can use these attributes to our advantage to essentially block power spot collection until you're ready to claim another walking bonus. In the scenario, the player need only remember to claim a particle pack or loose particle reward after that Gigantamax Snorlax to then protect themselves from misclicks. Particle management is an intricate but nonetheless important aspect of Dynamax battles. Do you have any strategies you employ for managing your particles? Perhaps you're also a Dynamax fanatic and throw particle packs at the problem. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're at it. Till next time.